I would think to myself, I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die here. The more invisible I was, the more kind of happy I was.
Please stand there and let 7,000 people spew their love at you.
Yeah, I've had anxiety my whole life, really. I feel like I have two parts of my personality. One takes over when that happens.
Ryan Reynolds has the journey of a hero and the wins to prove it. But behind the cool exterior
Did I say this was a love story?
is a story you weren't meant to see.
No, it's a horror movie.
You may know my next guest from the television show Two Guys and a Girl. Starting Friday, he can be seen starring in the brand new movie National Lampoon's Van Wilder. Please welcome Ryan Reynolds.
Look at Ryan. A smooth guy, huh?
Now, Ryan, now that you're like a big sitcom star and, you know, all this stuff.
Be sweet to me.
But really, Ryan had just learned to keep his insides
Now, you're quite a brave man, I understand.
quiet.
I read that you were overly sensitive and nervous as a kid and that you struggled with shyness and social anxiety.
I still struggle with those same things.
Vancouver.
Now, you are the youngest of how many brothers?
I'm the youngest of 4 boys in my family.
So you were just beaten constantly?
Just beaten to a pulp.
I mean, it was just mayhem in our house. There was this little moving target running around.
Reynolds is the youngest of 4 boys from Vancouver, Canada. Their dad was a former cop who ran a very tight ship.
Yeah, my dad was a very tense guy, and he used to sort of describe him as like a skin-covered landmine. I often felt like I was walking through some sort of weird skin-covered forest. It was kind of a rough household. You know, you get by on your wits. You kind of become hyper-perceptive. You know, you start to really sort of think about how you're going to survive. At the same time, it was all an act. It was something I just sort of put on so I could, you know, stay alive.
That wasn't very nice.
You had success as an actor, as a kid.
I wasn't a star. I was just a kid who occasionally worked in show business.
Hey, I've been practicing that new turn. The one you were telling me about on Thursday?
Yeah? How's it going?
Acting was a way to get out of the house. It wasn't really like a passion when I was a kid. It was something that I was already doing at home. I noticed when I was a kid, making people laugh was a great self-defense mechanism.
Oh, not so bad. Actually, not so good. In fact, kind of lousy so far.
It really helped me kind of navigate my way through my own home with my older brothers and my dad, and I could diffuse them by making them laugh.
And that's chapter 1 in the bag. Now, what does Ryan really want?
When were you first introduced to the character of Deadpool?
I was on the movie Blade Trinity, which I hope most of you have not seen.
Where is this tracking node of yours?
It's in my left ass cheek.
A rival executive at another studio said, I saw a little piece of Blade, and you know, you're Wade Wilson, you're Deadpool.
Fuck me sideways. Fine. It's in my right ass cheek.
I didn't know at the time. This is in 2004. I didn't know who Deadpool was.
Okay, I'm sick. Okay, seriously now. It's in the meat of my butt, just below the Hello Kitty tattoo.
And he said, trust me, if they ever make a movie about Deadpool, you're the only guy that can play Deadpool. He sent me over all these comics, and I'm not a big comic book guy, but I've really gravitated toward Deadpool. I fell in love with Deadpool. The first issue I opened up, I'm not making this up, I was on the panel. Like in the comic, somebody asked him what he looks like. He says, I look like a cross between Ryan Reynolds and a Shar-Pei.
What I really love about him is that you have a protagonist in a comic book that is morally flexible. That creates an opportunity unlike any other superhero movie.
Now might be a good time to mention something awkward. Actually, it can wait.
My dream would be to do an absolutely 100% faithful Deadpool adaptation, straight out of the comic books, breaking the fourth wall, pop culture references, the whole 9 yards, knows he's in a movie, knows he's in a comic book. Right. You know, that kind of vibe, that would be a dream come true for me. A lot of actors start their careers like, one day I'm gonna be Hamlet. And I was like, F that. I'm gonna be Deadpool. I'm gonna be Deadpool, that's what I'm gonna be.
Well, if you see the character of Deadpool, it's kind of an unorthodox type superhero. I mean, it's R-rated. It's it's a character that breaks the fourth wall. He has cancer. He wears like a giant red body condom around. I mean, these are all like unusual things for a superhero movie. You don't really ever get to see his face.
Yeah.
Studios say, well, you're casting an actor. We want to see his face. And Deadpool's so much bigger than just like some guy who's intermittently clenching his jaw muscles and squinting in nice lighting.
You're doing the next Wolverine movie, the next X-Men movie? Is that a done deal?
Well, yeah, the idea is to do Deadpool, just the character that I played in Wolverine.
Is that you?
And bring him to life in a way that's really true to the source material of the comic books.
If Stryker finally figured out how to shut you up.
Now, do we get to see the Deadpool that is, the one that's faithful to the comic books? It's tough to say. So we'll see. I never say I'm doing a movie until I'm breaking for lunch on like the 15th day, because you never know. You just never know. No, I know Deadpool is circling a director right now that everyone's really excited about. So maybe that's going to be news at some point.
But wasn't there a moment where you thought, okay, I'm going to stop doing the song and dance? Like, this is just not going to happen for me?
Fans want to know when and if we are going to see you as Deadpool.
But what in the world is the status of this thing? Is it happening or is it not happening?
Deadpool. When's it coming?
I don't know. It's up to the studio. I honestly, I can't even talk about it right now. We'll see. And the studio is sort of reluctant to pull the trigger on such a hard rated R script. So
there is a script, it's in development, but it's so far into the rated R, nearly NC-17 world that I just don't know if a studio would ever risk their reputation doing it.
It looks like we might be waiting a while for Fox to give this thing the green light.
So you've talked about struggling with anxiety?
Yeah, I've had anxiety my whole life, really. I feel like I have two parts of my personality, that one takes over when that happens. I would go out on like Letterman back in the day. I would always be nervous. But I remember I'd be standing backstage before the curtain would open, and I would think to myself, I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die here.
So Ryan's quest has begun, and things are stickier than cinema floors. But every hero needs to learn to think on their feet.
when I was 14, everything meant so much. I was introverted as a kid. I was the youngest of 4 boys.
I think in any household, it's hard being the 4th kid, you know? That's the kid that's sort of watching and learning constantly, as opposed to the trailblazing eldest.
I was a skin-covered antenna. The input was overwhelming. I was so scared, and I was so kind of moved by things.
I attribute some of why I'm good at my job from that. I'm perceptive. I watch carefully for danger.
Ryan?
But as soon as that curtain opens, and this happens in my work a lot too, it's like this little guy takes over, and he's like, I got this, you're cool. I feel like my heart rate drop, and my breathing calm, and I just kind of go out and I'm this different person. Let's just act the crap out of this day.
For 11 years, I've been trying to get this movie made.
Ryan, if it took 11 years to try to get this film made, like, why didn't you quit after like the 8th year or the 7th year? Like, what made you keep going?
It was tough, man. It was tough to hang in there. I believed in it.
Especially when the visual effects footage leaked.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, from some anonymous person.
Yeah. Oh, hello there. I bet you're wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed.
Hola! Me llamo Festina de la Muerta. We did a little bit of test footage for this movie. That test footage sat on a shelf at Fox for 4 years. And then about 1.5 years ago, somebody accidentally leaked it on the internet.
Accidentally.
Side note, exactly 10 years before this releases. I see you, Ryan.
Back in July, this video of test footage from a then supposed Deadpool movie starring Reynolds leaked online.
It wasn't an official trailer from Fox. Someone leaked it, just trying to drum up some interest in the movie.
I've always banged on the door at Fox, but it was really the fans who overwhelmed them.
Rich Corinthian letter. The fans' response was both huge and overwhelmingly positive.
Breathing life back into the project, fans have been desperately waiting for.
Does that mean we're gonna get a Ryan Reynolds Deadpool R-rated film? To me, if that's the case, can I start waiting for tickets now?
It just went nuts. The people just started writing and flooding Fox with begging and pleading for the Deadpool movie to get made. And then within 24 hours, we had a green light. Almost overnight. Yeah, they greenlit the movie. 2016, that's a little hazy for me. They tell me the movie did well, though. Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
Obviously, the reception for this film has exceeded probably your wildest dreams, I would think, right?
All expectations.
Went on to gross $783 million worldwide.
$783 million.
Shit. Did I leave the stove on?
Made it the highest grossing
R-rated film ever.
Looks on everything.
How about that?
Love this movie. I told you backstage.
I think Ryan Reynolds got this far on his superior acting method.
What are you doing so favor? Shut the fuck up. It just didn't stop. It's like the pacing, the action, the comedy.
Well, I'll sew your pretty mouth shut.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You know, I always knew that it would be embraced. The movie would be embraced. Deadpool. I didn't know that it would be embraced by such a wide group of people.
It's really well written.
Yep, Jimmy Fallon's seal of approval, glowing, right? But let's be real, the acclaim was overwhelming.
Welcome, Ryan Reynolds! Please stand there and let 7,000 people spew their love at you.
The audience is excited.
Comic-Con, man. We showed them about 3 or 4 minutes of the movie. And it finished, and they were all on their feet. And then they started chanting one more time, one more time.
And with Ryan's spotlight intensifying, so did the claustrophobia.
Did I say this was a love story? No. It's a horror movie.
Well, what was it like in high school?
I hid it largely in high school. For me, high school was a situation where the more invisible I was, the more kind of happy I was.
I'm a monster inside. One fucking circus.
Everything meant so much. There's nothing normal about ever walking a red carpet for anything. The input was overwhelming. The best of times and the worst of times, it's just a festival of anxiety. It's a lot of sensory overload. You're walking up and down the carpet. People are taking all these pictures.
As a young actor, being exposed to a great deal of sensory overload, which is what I think Hollywood can kind of be.
I know what you're thinking. Hang on, I thought this was Ryan's dream.
That would be a dream come true for me.
And yet, all of this commotion reminded him of, well.
So I can be right by someone else.
And please don't make the super suit green.
Or animated.
Comic-Con was crazy. I was nervous, because the last time I was at Comic-Con was I was there for Green Lantern. and that was tough.
The Green Lantern, a movie that many, many talented people worked on, didn't quite work out.
Welcome to Ring Slinging 101.
I mean, doing a screen adaptation of a comic is always a risky business because
The worst day of your life.
fans either love it or they hate it.
The bigger you are, the quicker you burn.
This movie is getting slammed by critics.
Here, let me help.
I would like to do a brief imitation of how I spent a great part of Green Lantern.
I went into the theater with very low expectation. And I left with even lower.
Watching the movie, you're right, it was absolutely mediocre. Starting with Ryan Reynolds.
You insult his memory by wearing his ring.
Ryan Reynolds is really miscast as Hal Jordan.
Ryan Reynolds really the best person to play Hal Jordan.
No.
The ring never makes a mistake. This time it did.
You know, it just suffers from that typical Hollywood disease, which is that, you know, we get a poster, we get a release date, we got an actor, but we don't have a script, but we're just gonna start shooting anyway. And that's always tough. It's very hard to dig your way out of that.
God damn, that's beautiful.
2011's Green Lantern tanked, critically and commercially. But Ryan didn't come home empty-handed.
If I can pick on Blake Lively here for a second, and I will.
Carol.
Everything okay in there?
So off I went. I did it. No regrets. It was amazing.
You look pretty.
Really, there was no chemistry between her and Ryan Reynolds.
Met my future wife.
Aw, don't you look silly now, buddy.
I met Blake on the darkest crease in the anus of the universe called Green Lantern. It was fantastic working with Blake.
He is, as few guys can see, possibly likable.
Yeah, I love her, but I like her. I really like her.
My friend first, and that's, I think that's the secret to happiness. I don't know.
I used to say to her, I would take a bullet for you. I could never love anything as much as I love you. I would say that to my wife.
You are the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Reynolds, with his wife, actress Blake Lively, has 3 daughters.
Second only to this star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
And then the second I looked in that baby's eyes, I knew in that exact moment that if we were ever under attack, I would use my wife as a human shield.
In thinking about your future, what's important to you?
Family, 100%.
Ryan's a really easy person to get along with.
When Blake shoots a film, I don't shoot a film.
Over the course of this long career, a career as long as mine, there are literally way too many people to mention.
We all travel together, and then when I shoot a film, she doesn't shoot a film, and we all stay together as well.
I gotta make sure that my time with my family is prioritized over anything else.
But I'd be pretty remiss if I didn't mention that it starts with my family and it ends with my family.
From sitcoms to diaper duty, Ryan's story shows that sometimes the hero's journey ends with a school run and a secret superpower.
I read this really interesting interview that you gave about anxiety issues right before you do press conferences. And sort of enter a room with fans and journalists. Is Deadpool a nice way for you to channel that anxiety once in a while, because you get to say things and do things that you would normally not be allowed?
This is the magical X-Men oath.
Absolutely. You know, it's a secret. I've struggled with this for most of my life, and it's something that creatively speaking, I've managed to filter all that through this prism of humor or, whatever else I needed in the moment.
Destigmatizes it when you talk about it, and you sort of look at people who are maybe in a profession that sort of looks glamorous and amazing, and they you think they have everything and all that stuff, but it doesn't discriminate, it doesn't affect everybody.
I still struggle with those same things, as challenging as they are, and they're also gifts that come with those things. And it took me a long time to kind of recognize those things as assets as opposed to liabilities.
To you, Mr. Poole. Deadpool. That sounds like a fucking franchise.
Let's fucking go! But Deadpool's sort of the ultimate outlet for that, when I put that mask on and that suit, I don't feel any of that. I just spread my wings and fly.
Look at that, you made it to the end, gold star. So, this animation and all of these shots came from Storyblocks, which is where I personally find the best quality stock footage, image, and sound effects. They even have a special offer just for you guys. Until the end of June, you'll get 3 extra months free with an annual plan. The offer will be added to your account after you sign up by following storyblocks.com/Dodford. Now, I've got more of the same, or maybe learn to make sourdough. Choice is yours.